And now, the main news on Radio Chingalo, brought to you by Usmili. Radio Chingalo, so that we may be one through the cross. Good afternoon and welcome to the main news. My name is Kennedy Bell Jr. Here are the headlines. The hike in fuel price sparked mixed reactions. 8-9 miners that died underground in Mufulira remembered today. Ghana Football Association has moved tomorrow's 2022 Costa Rica FIFA Underpaid Women's World Cup qualifiers against Zambia from the capital city Accra to Cape Coast City. We do also have a fact check on today's main news bulletin. And kindly be informed that we are also streaming live on the Radio Chingalo Facebook page in case you want to watch on our social media. The details. The hike in fuel pump price has sparked mixed reactions from various stakeholders. Energy Regulation Board yesterday announced the upward adjustment of petrol from 17 kwacha 62 ngwe to 21 kwacha 16 ngwe, and diesel is now selling at 20 kwacha 15 ngwe from 15 kwacha 59 ngwe. Energy expert Johnston Chkwanda says the new prices announced represent the commencement of a journey aimed at achieving cost-reflective tariffs in the oil industry. Mr. Chkwanda explained that fuel price hike is a necessary undertaking because the oil industry had become weak to the extent that government had to start compensating some oil companies in order for them to keep on importing fuel into the country. The Energy Forum chairperson has since encouraged ERB to resist what he termed as the temptation of sliding the country back into subsidies.
While these adjustments appear to be steep, they do not represent full removal of fuel subsidies. We are coming from an immediate past where over 41% taxes got waived in order to sustain price stability in an artificial position. If these taxes are added back, the pump prices are supposed to be far higher than even the new pump prices. To this end, I wish to commend the Energy Regulation Board for facing the adjustment. It is a bitter pill to take, but necessary. The oil industry had become weak to the extent that government had to start compensating some oil companies in order for them to keep on importing fuel into the country.
But former National Energy Sector and Allied Workers Union NESAW General Secretary Yotam Chalo has argued and said the move by government would affect ordinary Zambians and workers. Mr. Chalo has observed that the move was a departure from the UPND campaign promises to reduce the pump price of petroleum products once voted into power.
But much as price adjustment for petroleum products are sometimes necessary, the increase must be marginal in order to protect the vulnerable in society, and more importantly, that any upwards adjustment in the price of fuel has a multiplier effect on the price of goods and services. Moreover, the UPND government should realize that the people of Zambia voted for them on the basis that they were going to make life much better for them, and not the opposite. Therefore, it is wrong to deceive people through unrealistic campaign promises and then quickly make a dramatic U-turn on them after being voted into office. And as such, Zambians deserve an apology from the New Dawn government for abandoning its campaign promise.
Meanwhile, some taxi drivers in Chilawumbwe have adjusted upward the fares for local routes by at least 3 kwacha. The taxi drivers are told Patrick Mbeta in Chilawumbwe this morning that they have decided to hike fares in order to make their daily profits, while acknowledging that the move has not been welcomed by commuters in the district.
Customers, Bambi use tabaye mfuro bino Bambi bayerisha gapamutengo kutuikireko. So nga chakwati wakuteko tumfya kumise na futi na kumela base sharp samsala ba station pabilishe mishwa abantu bofwe bino sana challenge twete ikuru sana mirundire sha fuel ifuwe Barundi nachiwe chakosa kuma customers besu mulandu wakwera ati imitengo tubikire bambi balekana then bambi balesumina barundire mitengo tebonza balesumina okufunye mbyo fere so tero mbako fe atwanda kona panyuzi baba kuna bere bamwe tukabatubomba ko na bere barunda ko masara yo kurundira ko ishitagairwa customer base na ifo mitengo ngatwa beba shitero mugora balekana ture bacha na barunda fiyo so ifotefa ko nangani FM orokuje kutwa Frank bashye deliver nangani issue so that bakafuata understanding.
And some taxi clients are calling on government to intervene in the matter, saying some individuals have taken advantage of the fuel hike by increasing fares for local routes at unreasonable amount.
Namwaisa mwana abantu abalibomba bano nangu tutsire kuri bali abalibomba labena bafire babarundira amasalaries so that bachitamane chikonse tubaleke chani balerunda nomba chakula nde chakwebati balunde kuma fuel namashani nomba abantu balachitamane chani ili amasalaries yabo tabalerunda pamoja
kufuma ku mine kwisa pa Shoprite balesta 8 kwachi kufuma pa Shoprite kwisa pakakoso balesta 10 kwachi au vyachira mwe bantu vyachira
abapene barundire fuel kuba mamyotoka n'abarunda nabene nomba mwe uteko twararora pe apa kupulipira 5 kwacha nomba pa kulipira 10 kwacha epo tulipira 10 kwacha nomba pa 15 kwacha nomba ngaifwe fwe baranda kwa bati tuomba fe yabuchi bombe.
Meanwhile, some traders in Kitwe's Chimwemwe Township say the increase in fuel price will negatively affect the cost of doing business.
Customers bambi nyuzi tabaye mfule bino
suona abantu kushepasi kusifunkalanga bana mpachishingo bona umfwa sukuye kuno bantu transport bala runda ikotule kama long distances every day ikotule ntamfu idali oh then bintu fina babundi fiwo ya dula so tule uno fie uteko kutoro keshepa fiwo baboshe awo ifotu wasaka mana kurunda fiwo bantu fyonse ndoko tushitepe tugomba na fiena tufuma transport nomba tuwaraika shani
In a related development, some residents in Ndola say they expected the UPND government to reduce the fuel pump price as promised when in opposition. Others are found on Broadway complained to Radio Chinglow's Valentine Kuka that fuel price will impact negatively on the cost of living.
Kwakunena kwa fuel kaire kwalengo kweba chinomba fyonse fyabipirako bantu ife twale chitatwale kwanisha twala tambokusirwa
they should reduce them starting from 10 kwacha. They promised that fuel will be selling at 5 kwacha. Now what we are seeing is parallel to what they promised us. So if this continues, how are we going to be living in Zambia next year? Because the price of fuel and the price of electricity tariffs determines the economy.
Former Luansha Member of Parliament Steve Chungu has described the increase of fuel prices as sad development for the Zambian people.
Today's news that has been received by Zambians taken as very sad news. It is news that will leave people wondering as to what has happened in their lives, because this fuel increase moves out all the commodities. And the Zambian people should be ready. They haven't seen anything yet. I'm appealing to them that they should start preparing for the West to come.
But UPND member of the National Management Committee, Kenny Mona, said increasing fuel was necessary in a bid to revive the country's economy.
We as Zambians need to understand that without effecting the fuel increment, the cost of fuel in the country was going to continue being subsidized by government, thereby making government waste money. Now that the new government has necessitated the removal of fuel subsidies, allowing the true cost of fuel to reflect, this true cost-reflective measure should be commended by all well-meaning citizens.
Residents of Kitwe's Sekele B section are still complaining over the continued erratic water supply in the area. The residents who wondered when they will begin receiving the commodity every day described the erratic water supply as unhealthy.
Isefino kusama kumanya kapona ngumairo nguchungulo itopika ku B-section ku B7 kumukubiza kile 3 days tatwa kwete kwa minshi yafe akutunta twalitula kumenshi pesa takwa lero mbato kwa batapateka ngachakwa tibale tunkwa bakusaba ngatwako minshi kuno ku B-section kumanya kile yisanya kushamishi ila pali na 4 days amenshi tayari saro kuti na ma pressure takwava amenshi tufa tulono.
But when reached for a comment, Sekele Ward Councillor Charles Silomba said Nkana Water Supply and Sanitation Company has been engaged on the matter.
Selected sections B1, B2, B4, B5, B45. Kunkana Water Basendama engineers. Certain my issues and some week. But it's not sure after what says what if it was a background in the I don't know to issues.
Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe has advised the labor unions to remain non-partisan. Mr. Kabuswe has also called for mindset change among leaders in harmonizing and improving the mining sector. Mr. Kabuswe noted that the mineral resources in the country can only benefit the local citizenry if top leadership remains professional in their operations. He was speaking during the commemoration of Workers' Compensation 1970, Hilira Mine disaster storytelling and Christmas celebration at Garden Court Hotel this morning.
So to alipa 684,000 tons. But Chile alipa 686,000 tons per month. From 1970, but 5 million tons per month. If we to Chile 686. In fact, to a way on a page. That is down as she may wish share. To save no push.
And speaking earlier, Copper Minister Elisha Matambo was represented by the Provincial Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo, held the workers' compensation for their continued support to the surviving families of the mine disaster.
As you may know, the far-reaching implications of the disaster outside the nation of rights required workers' compensation fund control board to provide relief to the families of the victims of the accident. The provincial administration notes with satisfaction that since 1970, the workers' compensation has continued providing compensation benefits to eligible members of the families of the victims of the national disaster in line with the Workers' Compensation Act of 1999 of the laws of Zambia.
Speaking when she graced the event, Labour Minister Brenda Tamba pledged the government's commitment in ensuring a safe and healthier working environment for workers.
It is gratifying to note that government has continued to provide social protection to the surviving widows of this 1970 Hilira mine disaster through the Workers' Compensation Scheme to redress the human and financial stress on the families of the deceased. I know it's not enough, and that's why the government, the new government of His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has committed to review and relook the pension to ensure that we conducted a pension reform that will add meaning to what we have today.
Darius Simpundu, who spoke on behalf of surviving families, appealed to the government to consider empowering them in any way possible.
Richard Chatemwa, vale unobe otongodu so chichaletera okulanda sana ira nasi ukeno nomia konchido okuyaso fumafu valengo kuti avonse vasakamana sana omulandu wakusakamana kwavo so that's pale ino vali abantu bafirika chawo musana about 89 29 September.
Today's commemoration marks 51 years since the Mufulira mine disaster happened that killed 89 miners underground on 25th of September 1970. Now, government has been employed to critically look at the operations of the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC. Governance and political analyst Max Moore said there was need for officers at ACC to be loyal to the UPND government. Mr. Seymour said this when he appeared on a special program on Radio Chingolo last evening.
This will affect perhaps the fight against corruption is that we should have dissolved the Anti-Corruption Commission. Not because individuals that work for those institutions are not qualified, not because they are bad. Two fundamental issues. The issue of allegiance. The second one, issues of conflict of interest. It is not practical in many respects for a person that has been appointed to prosecute an appointing authority. As much as they may go ahead, but information will be filtering. Investigations are commencing, they will inform the appointing authority. Now, but investigate. The following are the things that we are looking for. Now, already to fit the purpose of fighting corruption. And this is why I've been saying, those people that work at the Anti-Corruption Commission have families. So you don't fire them. They can be moved to other institutions. But then change the players.
Police have arrested two suspected scammers have been impersonating various business houses and people on pretext that they sell various products online when in fact not. The suspects who have been identified as Paul Kawewe, aged 21, and Mulemwa, aged 22, both of Mtendere compound in Lusaka, have allegedly been extorting and obtaining money by false pretenses, contrary to Section 309, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. This is according to Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale.
Police have arrested two suspected scammers who have been impersonating various business houses and people on pretext that they sell various products online when in fact not. The suspects, who have been identified as Paul Kawewe, aged 21, and Mulemwa, aged 22, both of the Dere compound in Lusaka, have allegedly been extorting and obtaining money by false pretenses contrary to Section 309, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Zambia Police, working together with the Zambia Information and Technology Authority, recently conducted a joint operation in which the two suspects were nabbed. The two, who were found in possession of 25 different SIM cards, they are currently detained in police custody awaiting court appearance.
In sports, the Ghana Football Association has moved tomorrow's 2022 Costa Rica FIFA U20 Women's World Cup qualifier against Zambia from the capital city Accra to Cape Coast City. Cape Coast is the capital of the central region in the southern Ghana. FAS has confirmed that the game initially set for Accra will now be played at Cape Coast Stadium. The Zambia women under-20 team is already in Ghana, settling down ahead of the third round, second leg qualifier against Ghana. Zambia and Ghana drew 0-0 in the first leg match of the third round played in Lusaka a fortnight ago. Before we go to international news, we now listen to this fact check compiled by Kangwa Chideshe.
Welcome to Check Facts Zambia, where we check what information is true and what is false. Has a politician made a claim that you doubt, or have you heard something in the news that you think cannot be true? Check Facts Zambia will check it.
Hello. My name is Kangwa Chideshe from Radio Changalo in Kito District on the Copperbelt Province. Today, my fact check is Mopani mining activities causing the cracking of houses in Kito's Chachacha Township?
And so I have visited one of the houses in Kito's Chachacha Township just to ascertain if at all mining activities at Mopani Mindolo shaft causes cracks on some houses. But
I later spoke to Professor Peter Chileshe, who is head of mining engineering department in the School of Mines and Mineral Sciences at the Copperbelt University in Kitwe.
If there are very large blasts, then it is very possible that the houses can be affected to some degree. And then, of course, you also have to take into account that some of the houses also, the standard and quality of construction may not be what one would expect.
I also caught up with Mopani Copper Mines spokesperson Naibet Mulenga.
Those cracks started way back before Mopani came into Zambia. Our current underground blasting activities are being done so far away from where those houses are, and there is no way you can get any impact of the process.
Earlier, the residents took the matter to court. The case was before Judge Justice Chanda at the Kitwe High Court. He dismissed this matter accordingly. This was on 26th day of August 2021. With that gathered, the claim that Mopani Copper Mines is causing the cracking of houses in Kitwe's Chachacha Township is not true. For Check Fact, I am Kangwa Chileshe from Radio Chengelo.
You have been listening to Check Facts.
This news broadcast comes to you in the community service of Radio Chengelo with compliments of Moose Milling. And now international news as monitored from the BBC.
Japanese police believe the fire that's thought to have killed 27 people in a mental health clinic in Osaka could have been started deliberately. Officers are investigating reports that a man was seen carrying a bag with liquid leaking from it. The fire began shortly after the clinic opened. From Tokyo, here's Rupert Wingfield-Hayes.
Police have confirmed that all 27 of those who died in the Osaka fire this morning were trapped inside one small clinic on the 4th floor of the building. It also looks likely this was an arson attack. Eyewitnesses have described seeing a man in his 50s or 60s entering the building carrying a paper bag out of which was leaking some sort of flammable liquid. It's not clear if the alleged attacker is among those who died. Dozens of fire engines were at the scene within minutes of the alarm being raised, and the fire was out within half an hour.
The United Nations Human Rights Council is holding an urgent session on Ethiopia as reports of atrocities in the Tigray region mount. The conflict broke out in November last year when the Ethiopian government sent troops into Tigray to fight the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Here's Imogen Fox.
Just last month, the UN produced a 100-page report detailing major violations in Tigray, including the shelling of towns, killing of civilians, and widespread sexual violence. This week, Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch detail further atrocities. UN aid agencies have limited access. Many communities are reportedly on the verge of starvation. Member states want the Council to appoint international investigators. Ethiopia has dismissed the move as politically motivated.
On that note, we end this afternoon's main news on Radio Chengelo. For this and more stories, feel free to visit the Radio Chengelo Facebook page. You can as well listen to Radio Chengelo on www.radiochengelo.org.com, www.radiochengelo.org. And of course, remember, COVID-19 is real. Follow the COVID-19 protocols. And on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Kennedy Mbeo Jr. Have yourself a lovely Friday afternoon.